Hey everyone, it's Major Reaction coming at you today with my latest action figure review. Today we will be looking at the DC Collectibles Arrow action figure 2-pack featuring Oliver Queen and Deathstroke. Just picked these up not too long ago from a local comic book shop, and just recently bust them out of their packaging. In the back you can see the box. Bring it forward for you. Arrow, got a little background in there. This is based on the TV show. So on the back you got a picture of both the figures. Deathstroke before he lost his eye, and then Oliver Queen. Right here it says sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. So the packaging is really nice, really easy to open, easy to maintain without destroying it or losing the integrity of the box. And here we go, we're taking a look at the figures. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the sculpt on these different figures. First off, we'll start with Arrow. I really like the way he's built. As you could see right off the bat, his little quiver did break. So that kind of sucks. I'm probably just gonna glue it back together. But that's probably my only gripe. Well, one of my only gripes with this figure is that the quiver was made with a hard, fragile plastic that breaks rather easily, as you can tell. But everything else is really nicely done. This side pouch is done with a nice, soft plastic. I don't know why they didn't do the quiver on his back like that also. So even the little arrows are all detailed inside of the little holster, which is this nice soft plastic. Even the strap around his body is made of this nice kind of softer plastic, and it has some pretty good detail. Let's see if we can show you that. So there's even detail in the strap that goes around. They did a really nice job with a lot of the different things, like right here. This is a nice soft plastic hood, and you can actually move his head inside of the hood. So that's pretty neat. So this hood's really cool. They used a softer plastic right here on the upper part, so that's really nice too, because then you can bend the figure without having to worry about hindering the articulation. So that's really nice. They just did a really good job with all the sculpts and stuff on this. It looks really nice. There's a lot of detail. You could even see the zipper. And there's a zipper on there and everything. So yeah, really nicely articulated. I think they did a really good job at hiding a lot of the articulation too. One of my only gripes with it is the way you kind of have to move the legs outward to get them in like a kicking position. It's kind of awkward because for some reason it just seems like the legs have a hard time wanting to rotate forward. It could just be because mine's stiff, but like it seems like the sculpt of the leg kind of makes the leg want to have a hard time moving forward in a kicking motion. So I'm not gonna force it right now, but yeah, so that's one of my only gripes. Other than that, figures are a good size, good likeness to the characters, really nicely done, good attention to detail, just great looking figures. The weapons are even really nicely articulated. You got an actual string bow. So so that's cool. Really nice detail. Yeah, just really nicely made. Comes with the extra arrows. This pack that goes in the quiver. Another extra arrow. Then he comes with his hands actually come. I actually had to fit the bow in there. Had to take the hand off and then fit the bow in there because it's a really tight fit. But you got interchangeable hands for him. This one was a little warped in the package, so I was kind of worried how it'd fit, but I'm probably gonna have to use some hot water to kind of strain that one out. As you can tell, it's not like in the center where it should be. I'll try to pull it out. It's kind of bent. It should be straight like this one, but it's bent. So I'm probably gonna have to take some hot water to that and bend it into place and let it set. But yeah, so you can have the interchangeable hands. I'm not gonna force that one too much. The bow hand goes in real nice. So you can have the fist. So I thought that was really cool. It's something that you can't see right outside the box when you first look. You can't really tell that there's extra hands. I didn't know until I opened the packaging. But really cool. I like what they did with the Oliver Queen figure. It's cool to have a TV accurate version, because I really do dig the show. I think it's really, really well done. So that's you look at Arrow. I'll go over Articulation after I show you guys the Deathstroke. So this one is the one I was really stoked to get, because I've been wanting a Deathstroke figure. I don't have any of the actual classic versions or comic versions, but got a good deal on this 2-pack. It was only $40 for both, so I had to pick it up. I like this Deathstroke though. He's really sick. I kind of wish he had the missing eye, but it still looks really cool. This is before he had that injury. So yeah, as you could tell, like, it's really, really detailed. Just really, I like the way what they did with the knee pads. They used that flexible plastic. It just kind of covers the kneecap. Looks really cool. They're double jointed, so that's cool. He has a spot for his knife. It fits in there perfect, but the only problem is when you turn the figure, it tends to fall out. Right now it kind of just clicked in there, but sometimes it'll just kind of fall out. Alright, now it's making me a liar. Comes with this really sick sword right here. Also has the sheath on the back for it, and this one, as you can hear, is also made of that really fragile, hard plastic like arrows. So I'm gonna try to be really careful with his. Arrows just kind of broke right out of the box. I didn't even like touch it, so that was kind of weird. But so I'm gonna be really careful with that. Like again with the arrow one, the strap is made of the nice flexible plastic. I don't know why they didn't do that for the sheaths. This one's also, this holster for his pistol is also made of that nice flexible plastic. So I just don't understand why they didn't just use it all the way around. But really, that's one of the only complaints. I really like what they did right here. You got let's see if you get a good look at it. These little pouches and little grenades. This is all sculpted in, really nicely done. Like I was saying with Arrow, I really like the way they hid the ab crunch and the swivel right there. It looks really good. Got some really good detail on the buckles and stuff right here, and just really well made figure. Cool looking little shin guards. Wear and tear on his boots. Got a bunch of little pouches, pockets, little cargo pockets, more pouches. Just really cool figure. You can see like the buckle where this would attach right there. So I really like all the detail that went into this figure. Just tons of detail, even in the gun. Like, really nice looking. His different weapons. So yeah, it just looks like they took a lot of time with him and put a lot of detail into his different parts. So really digging these two figures. There's a few things that bug me. Like I said about the Arrow figure, he also has the same type of problem with his legs. You gotta kind of pull them outward first and then pose them backwards, and then even then you can see that it causes a little bit of paint damage from the contact. So that's my only gripe with these figures. Other than that, I really like these figures. I've been having a lot of fun since I took them out of the package. Just two really cool figures, and if you're a fan of the show, I highly suggest getting these two because they're the only ones that match the versions of the show so far that I've seen. So really digging both these guys. We're gonna go ahead and go over all their articulation and tell you all about them. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with Arrow, or Oliver Queen. Start off with the head articulation. Even though he has the hood, he can still look side to side. When you push his head too far to the side, you gotta kind of use the hood to push it over, so that's good because it's flexible. He also looks down, and he'll look up as much as the hood permits, which is pretty cool. Makes that shadowy effect. So the head articulation, even though he has a hood, is still really good. So that's really awesome and pretty surprising. Do the body right here. He swivels and has little bit of an ab crunch. Not much due to this the strap that holds his quiver. I think that kind of stops a little bit of the articulation, but other than that, that's a really nice swivel. No actual waist articulation. With the arms right here, got moves out, and they're not hindered by the clothing because this is kind of softer plastic, like I said before. Move it down to the side, all the way up, out. So pretty good range of motion. You got single jointed elbows. You got right here, you got you could swivel it, so it makes up for the lack of a bicep swivel. And then the hand can rotate, and it also goes back and forth on the hinge, and they're also removable and interchangeable with these fists. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the bow goes in the hand really quick. For this purpose, I'll take the hand out and show you guys like that. So you want to get the hand around this spot. So you want this part to be up on the top. Now I've already put this in his hands once before, so that's gonna make it a little easier for me. But basically you want to get the thumb on there and then rope the rest of the fingers around. They're kind of pliable, so I mean if you kind of take your time and just work with them a little, they'll go on really nice and snug, and then just click the hand on. So we'll go with the low articulation. The legs move out like if anyone's familiar with DCUC, kind of like the same thought behind it. Now legs go. Now see, Arrow's leg doesn't want to move. I'm gonna try using the hot water trick on him a little later. I didn't really realize this until now that his leg doesn't really want to move forward. But like I said, if you move it out to the side and move it forward, it's kind of scary because it feels like it does want to break. Like he doesn't really want to move forward into any kind of kicking motion. So with Oliver, you got the single jointed knees. You got really good ankle hinge, and then you also got a pivot, and then you also got rotation at the boot, and then you can also rotate at the knee. Oliver's character doesn't have the upper thigh rotation, but Deathstroke's does. So I'm going to run the hot water on it, and I'm going to give it a test and see if it'll get a better range of motion before I end the video. But first I'm going to go ahead and move on to Deathstroke's articulation. So pretty good. The only thing I think they're lacking, like I said, I think the legs could have been handled a little better, maybe sculpted a little differently to make them more movable. But other than that, the figure looks really clean, like really well proportioned and really well done. Alright, Deathstroke, full side to side with the head, all the way down, all the way up, pretty far back on the up. The only thing that hinders it is the back of where his head and his collar meet. But really good range of motion. You can even do the side kind of swivel, head tilt. So good head articulation. The arms, this is like a soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about it chipping any kind of paint off or anything. So his arms move really nicely up, down to his side, all the way around. He has a upper bicep cut. You can see it right there. It can look kind of funky if you turn it a lot. It'll make his arm look weird. But really good rotation right there. Single jointed elbows. But they're get a pretty good range of motion out of them. Also, he can his character does not have the swivel on the lower arm though, like Oliver's. He does have the swivel on the hand and the hinge also. Let me see, does he have the hinge? Yeah, he has an up and down hinge on this hand. So up and down like that, and then turn side to side. Same with this hand, the up and down swivel. This is really nice, nice plastic, so it doesn't interfere with any of the articulation, doesn't get in the way. This holster is nice and bendable too, so you don't have to worry about that. He has a much better ab crunch than Oliver, so he can go up, back, side to side. So really good articulation on him. His legs have kind of the same problem as Oliver's. They kind of want to go out, but some of the sculpt kind of stops it from doing that too. His want to allow for more of a kick, I want to say, but even then it digs into the paint. Like right now I just kind of dug into the paint pretty deep right there. So that's kind of disappointing. If they cut a little higher under the belt, it looks like it would have, if they had cut this just a little higher, it probably would have allowed this to pass through a little better. On this one I can seem to get, the other night I was getting a little better articulation of it. There we go. But like I said, it does kind of chip up the paint a little. So to get the legs out, you got to kind of do some careful posing. You don't want to mess up the paint too bad. Look at that. You can see the wear on the boots right there. Really nice. Even carried it over to the bottom of the boot. You can see the worn outness of that boot. Oh, looks really cool. But yeah, he has double jointed knees, so you get really good motion out of that. Really good articulation there. He also has the upper thigh swivel, so that's a little better than Oliver's. And then he doesn't have any kind of boot swivel down here, but he does have a really good ankle pivot and ankle hinge. Actually, the ankle pivots on these characters aren't like it. I don't know if he even has one or not, but they're definitely not like the kind you'd find on a Marvel Legend. It's not going to turn all the way to the side and allow you to get like that Spider-Man pose. It's more of like a subtle, if there's any at all. That seems to be the one thing. One thing really bugging me about the figures is just the legs. So I'm gonna run them under hot water and let you guys know if that does anything for it. I do really enjoy the sculpts, the likeness to the characters, all the attention to detail and all that, all the sculpting and all the stuff they've done on the characters. It's really nice. They got the eyes good. They don't got derpy looks on their faces or anything like that. So it's really cool to see them pay that much attention to the detail. And there's just a few minor things when it came down to articulation. So the only other gripe was the cheap plastic on the quivers and the sheath for the sword and the arrows for Arrow. But other than that, these are really good characters. I'd say, yeah, if you're a fan of the Arrow TV show, I would definitely pick these up because this is the first of their kind that I've seen. And they're really well detailed and they'll really stand out in your collection if you want to just display them. Posing wise, I mean, you might get a better figure. This might just be like a quality issue, but I'm going to test out the water trick and definitely let you guys know if it increases the range of motion from the legs. Okay, so I used the hot water trick and it actually didn't work. So I took a look at what was going on, and it seemed that there was some dried paint on the area where it was supposed to allow it to turn. So I took a pair of scissors and kind of worked my way around the joint, and then I was able to get it to move now a little more than it was before. So the legs are articulated after all, and it's not as well as the Marvel Legends, like I said before, but the sculpt is really nice. And also, one other thing I noticed, I think this is really cool. I just figured this out too earlier when I had put the figure in the hot water. It made the hood a little more loose, and when you pull his head down, you can actually pull the hood back to reveal his full head. The hair, sculpted, everything. And it's actually really well sculpted. And it looks really nice. So that was a really cool addition. I didn't expect that. And I was actually quite surprised when it actually came off all the way. It's really easy to put back on. Just slide it right back over his head. Alright, so that does it for my review on the Arrow 2-pack featuring Deathstroke and Oliver Queen. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe to see more videos like this one.